We live in a world that just works. Connections are invisible, answers are instant, but have you ever really stopped to think about what's making it all happen behind the scenes? Well, today, we're popping the hood to demystify the hidden engine that powers pretty much everything in our modern lives, the information system. Seriously, think about it for a second. You get a movie recommendation that's just spookily perfect. You transfer money with a single tap on your phone. You find the answer to literally any question in less than a second. What is actually doing all that work? How does it happen so flawlessly over and over again? Well, it might feel like magic, but it's not. Behind every single one of those actions is a carefully built information system. It's the unsung hero of our entire digital world. So for the next few minutes, we're going to stick with this idea of an engine. We're going to explore how modern business and, honestly, our daily lives have come to completely depend on this invisible but absolutely essential force. So what is an information system, really? At its heart, it's the whole package, the physical computers, the smart programs that run on them, and all the raw data, all of it connected by networks. Its entire job is to take a chaotic flood of data and turn it into useful information that helps a business run and make smarter decisions. And get this, companies like Amazon and Google, they don't just use information systems, their entire business is a giant, complex information system. Okay, so if it's an engine, what are the parts? What's actually inside? Let's take a look under the hood at the 4 core components that make every single information system tick. This is actually a fantastic way to break it down. Think of the hardware as the body, the physical stuff you can actually touch, like computers and servers. The software is the brain. It's the programs that tell the hardware what to do. The data is the knowledge, all the raw facts and figures just waiting to be made useful. And finally, telecommunications. That's the nervous system. It's the networks that connect everything and let all the other parts talk to each other. Body, brain, knowledge, and nervous system. Simple, right? But it's a really powerful way to get the whole picture. So now we know the parts, but how do they actually work together to do something useful? Well, it's a 5-step journey that takes a bunch of meaningless data and turns it into actions that can literally shape a multi-billion-dollar company. It all kicks off with input, just collecting raw data from anywhere, like keyboards, sensors, or even your voice. Next up is processing, where the computer's CPU kind of acts like a chef, sorting and analyzing all those raw ingredients. Once it's organized, that information goes into storage, on hard drives or in the cloud. From there, we get the output, a clean report, or a dashboard that actually makes sense to a human. And last, but definitely not least, the system gets feedback from users to learn and get better. It's this constant cycle that turns useless noise into real meaning. So we've got this incredible, powerful, and super valuable engine running our world. But here's the thing about valuable stuff. It always attracts unwanted attention. So now we have to talk about the threats these systems are facing literally every single day. And that's just the reality of it. These systems are massively complex, and with complexity comes vulnerabilities. No matter how perfectly you build it, every single one of these engines has weak spots that someone, somewhere, can try to exploit. And believe me, the list of potential attacks is long. You've got your classic malware, viruses, ransomware, all that nasty stuff designed to corrupt your data. You've got phishing attacks that try to trick people into giving away their passwords, denial of service attacks that just flood a system until it breaks. You even have to worry about threats from the inside or something as basic as someone physically stealing a device. Now, here's a really important point. Not all threats are malicious. On one hand, yeah, you have intentional threats, a hacker trying to break in. But on the other side, you have unintentional threats. This could be an employee just accidentally clicking a bad link, a simple software glitch, or even a natural disaster like a fire taking out a data center. Both can be just as devastating. Let's just zoom in on one of these for a second. Phishing. Phishing is so incredibly dangerous because it doesn't attack the machine, it attacks the person. It uses psychology to manipulate us into just handing over the keys to the kingdom. Whether that's a password or a credit card number, it totally exploits human trust, which, let's be honest, is often the weakest link in any security chain. Okay, so with all these threats flying around, how in the world do organizations protect these critical systems? Well, it's not about finding one single magic lock. It's about a whole strategy of management and maintenance that builds a really strong layered defense. A good security plan has layers, lots of them. It all starts by setting clear policies, basically the rules of the road for everybody. Then you've got to do regular audits to check who's accessing what. You control operations by limiting access to the most sensitive servers. The hardware itself has to be physically protected in secure data centers. And finally, you have to verify everyone's identity using things like firewalls, biometrics, or multi-factor authentication. Every layer adds another barrier. And this is why all that effort is so critical. When security fails, the fallout is huge. Sure, 40% of the damage is direct financial loss. That's a big number. But look at the rest. A full quarter of the damage is to the company's reputation, and that can be way harder to get back. Then you've got your business grinding to a halt, legal fines, and the theft of priceless ideas. The stakes are just incredibly high. So really, it all boils down to this. Good security isn't just another bullet point on a feature list. In our digital world, it is the absolute foundation of trust between a company and its customers. If that foundation cracks, everything built on top of it falls apart. So let's do a quick recap. What are the big takeaways here? First, information systems are the engines powering our world. Second, they're made up of 4 key parts: hardware, software, data, and telecommunications. Third, they use that 5-step process to turn raw data into smart decisions. But these valuable engines are under constant threat, both from attacks and accidents, which is why a strong layered security strategy isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. We've built this incredible planet-spanning engine, and now we're plugging it into more and more powerful AI. So the real question for the future is this. As this engine gets smarter, more complex, and more autonomous, how are we going to adapt to secure something that all of us, together, depend on every single day?